Okay, so I want to completely transport you for a second. Seriously, take a deep breath right now and just appreciate the clear air in your room. Because we are traveling back to the cobblestone streets of 1850s Victorian Manchester. And you know, we aren't looking at this era from the cozy, comfortable vantage point of the wealthy factory owners. No way. We're looking at the visceral, gritty reality of the Industrial Revolution right from the ground level. We're going to examine the exact mechanics of survival in what was literally known as the City of Dust. Let's get right into it.
Manchester in the 1850s wasn't just a city. It was an environment that physically surrounded and honestly assaulted you. As our sources describe it, the sky was a permanent bruise, totally choked by this yellowish-green pea soup fog. And we're not just talking about a heavy mist here. This fog tasted heavily of coal tar and soot. It was so incredibly thick that it turned these massive, hulking brick mills into eerie ghosts just looming in the distance. Every breath you took was a heavy weight in your chest.
Now consider the number 14. For the purpose of understanding this explainer, this number represents you. You are Jack. You're a 14-year-old worker, waking up in the gray, pre-dawn light. You aren't getting ready for school, you definitely aren't going out to play. Your entire existence is tied to the grueling engine of the Industrial Revolution, and your day is just about to begin.
Just imagine waking up in this room. You're in a space barely larger than a closet in a backcourt tenement right near the Irwell River. You share this incredibly cramped space with your two brothers. Your bed? It isn't a mattress. It's literally just a rough pallet of straw flattened and packed into a canvas sack. Breathe in and imagine the smell seeping through the wooden shutters. It's this thick, heavy mix of old sweat, damp wool, and that ever-present sulfurous scent of coal smoke.
And you know, there are absolutely no alarm clocks in Jack's world. Instead, you wake to the morning call of the factory bells. It's this harsh signal that the city is waking up, angry and ready to grind. You pull on a rough linen tunic that's honestly more patches than original fabric at this point, with your joints already throbbing with this dull ache. When your bare feet hit the floorboards, they're freezing cold and slick with a literal film of soot deposited by the fog. So you have to dress in the dark, carefully memorizing exactly which floorboards squeak so you don't wake your brothers. Oh, and there's absolutely no running water in your tenement. Before the sun is even up, your very first task is to grab these heavy wooden buckets and do the morning water run. You have to haul all this water from a public pump, and incredibly, this pump sits just a few feet away from an overflowing cesspit. So the physical toll of the day begins before you've even had a single bite to eat.
Section 1. The Poverty Penalty. The Economics of 1850s Manchester. Let's hit pause on Jack's morning for a second to examine a crucial financial trap that kept laborers firmly at the bottom of the economic ladder.
So here is the cruel irony of what's called the poverty penalty. Working in the mills, you're earning only a few shillings a week. This means you simply do not have the upfront cash to buy coal by the ton at wholesale prices, like the wealthy do. Instead, you're forced to buy coal by the scuttle, just a tiny bucket at a time. And because you are buying in these micro quantities, you end up paying double the wholesale price. Being poor literally costs you more. It's a massive trap. And this creates a brutal chain reaction where the cost of coal completely dictates your physical health. Because you're paying a huge premium for tiny amounts of coal, you just can't afford to keep a fire burning for 3 hours. And since you can't burn a fire for 3 hours, you can't cook cheap, nutritious dried beans. That slow cooking is an expense you simply cannot justify. Therefore, your diet is forced into relying on incredibly dense, dark rye bread and basically liquid energy.
That liquid energy? It's a cup of tea brewed so intensely strong that our sources describe it as being like lye. But listen, this intensely strong tea is your greatest ally. It delivers a massive caffeine spike that gives you the backbone you need to survive a 14-hour physical shift.
And more importantly, it acts as a powerful appetite suppressant, fighting off the raging, tearing hunger that breaks through the exact moment you stop moving.
Section 2. Surviving a 14-hour shift. Inside the mill. Breakfast is over and you head out, your lungs already feeling tight in the smog as we step right into the deafening hum of the machinery.
At the mill, your job title is a scavenger. What does that mean? It means your job is to literally crawl underneath the massive, moving iron machinery to collect the loose cotton fibers that fall to the floor. You're moving entirely by instinct down there, constantly terrified of the heavy iron treadles slamming up and down all around you. If you let your focus wander for even a fraction of a second, those treadles would happily punch right through a finger.
The environment inside the mill is just a total sensory overload. The constant hum of the iron machinery isn't just loud, it violently vibrates deep in your bones. And the air around you isn't clear at all. It's completely filled with loose cotton fibers whipping around like a blinding snowstorm. It gets into your hair, it sticks to your eyes, and worst of all, you breathe it deep down into your chest.
That snowstorm of cotton coats everything inside you with a fine white powder. You literally can't escape it. Eventually, doctors will give a formal medical name to the catastrophic lung damage caused by breathing in this dust day after day: industrial disease. Your body is slowly being coated and ruined from the inside out just by breathing the regular air at your workplace. Which brings us to this incredibly profound question asked by the tenement women of the era: stronger for what? If you somehow manage to survive all this, if you build up this incredible endurance, what is the point? Are you stronger just so you can work more hours to produce more wealth for someone else, all while staying, as they called it, patchwork underneath? It really highlights the deep existential exhaustion of the working class at the time. Section 3. The invisible labor. The hands that weave the world. All right. Your 14-hour shift is finally over. The machines are spinning down, so let's zoom back out to look at the global perspective of what your grueling day actually achieved.
There is a stark, almost unimaginable divide in the 1850s. On one side, in the grand houses of London, polite society is wearing the beautiful fine-finished cotton that you just risked your life to help weave. On the other side is you, the invisible laborer in the city of dust. You live in a neighborhood that polite society pretends doesn't even exist, covered in the grime that has settled into the very pores of your skin. By the time the sun sets, though honestly you wouldn't be able to see it through the thick smoke anyway, you head back to your tenement. Walking home, you are carrying the literal scraps of a global empire right on your skin. You only find peace in those few fleeting hours when the mills finally fall silent before the angry bells ring all over again. I really want to leave you with this final provocative thought to ponder. If Jack, and millions of others exactly like him, were the invisible labor that wove the Victorian world together at such a terrible human cost, who is weaving yours today? Seriously, look around at the objects in your room, the clothes on your back right now. There are always unseen hands behind the products that build empires. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I hope it sparked your curiosity to look a little deeper into the hidden histories all around us.